Welcome to Up Next, a listening space for theater, culture, and the arts. This is your weekly ritual here on TMC 105.1, Cebu's the most Cebu radio. Yeah, that's TMC 105.1. This is a space for conversations about becoming, about the paths we take and the lessons we gather. Of course, the people who help shape who we are. And every episode, we pause for a moment to listen to stories, to reflect on experiences, and to ask a simple but powerful question. What is up next? Because the truth is, life is always moving forward. Every choice, every lesson, every encounter becomes part of the road ahead. And sometimes we plan it, sometimes we stumble into it, and sometimes it begins with something very small. A word of encouragement, a moment of discovery, or someone who believes in us before we even believe in ourselves. So today's conversation begins with a place where many of those moments first happen, the classroom. If you watch children for long enough, you begin to notice something remarkable. They sing without worrying if they are in tune. They dance without thinking about choreography. They tell stories without asking whether the story even makes sense. They simply create. And creativity is often the first language of childhood. Before children learn grammar, before they understand math, before they memorize dates in history books, they imagine. A cardboard box becomes a spaceship. A stick becomes a sword. A simple melody becomes a performance in the living room. Children instinctively understand something that adults sometimes forget, that creativity is not something we perform perfectly. It is something we explore freely. But as children grow older, something begins to change. Schedules become tighter, subjects become more structured, expectations become heavier, and slowly the spaces where imagination once lived can begin to shrink. A child who once sang loudly might become shy. A child who once drew endlessly might begin to say, "I'm not good at art." And somewhere along the way, we begin to believe that creativity belongs only to artists, to singers, to dancers, to actors, to painters. But creativity is much bigger than that. Creativity is how we solve problems. It is how we learn to express emotions we cannot yet explain. It is how we develop confidence. Because the moment a child realizes that their ideas matter, something powerful happens. They begin to trust their voice. And when children trust their voice, they become more willing to ask questions, to explore, to take risks in learning. And this is why the environment children grow up in matters so deeply. The classrooms they enter, the teachers who guide them, the spaces where they are allowed not only to learn, but also to imagine. Education is not only about filling young minds with information. It is also about nurturing curiosity. It is about helping children discover who they are, what excites them, what challenges them, what inspires them. Some educators understand this deeply, and they recognize that teaching is not simply the transfer of knowledge. It is the shaping of human beings. It is the patient work of helping children grow not only academically, but emotionally, socially, and creatively. And when that happens, the classroom becomes more than just a place of instruction. It becomes a place of possibility, a place where confidence is built, where imagination is welcomed, where children learn that their ideas are worth sharing. The truth is, the future we talk so often about, the future we worry about, the future we hope for, is currently sitting in classrooms, raising hands, asking questions, learning how to speak, learning how to listen. And the adults who guide them today are helping shape the people they will become tomorrow. Our guest today understands this journey from more than one perspective. She is an artist, a performer who has expressed herself through acting, singing, and dancing. But beyond the stage and the spotlight, she has also chosen another path: education. She is the founder of Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy, a school dedicated to the development of young learners, not only academically, but as confident and capable individuals. Through her work, she has spent years, decades even, helping guide children through some of the most formative years of their lives. Up next, Yvette Intig. Hi, Yvette.
Hello, Sarah.
Welcome to Up Next.
It's a pleasure, an honor, and excited.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's been a while.
Yeah, I think the last time we met was like during that time. I think like 2 months ago.
Was that 2 months? Was that only 2 months ago?
No, we were supposed to have
We
our...
always have this,
The New
we always
Year
text
thing,
Yes,
yeah.
we always text each other,
Yes.
message each other, and say, "Hey, let's have a catch up."
Yes,
And-
coffee, dinner, and then until such time nga na busy, we were
Yes.
both busy with our paths
Yeah,
and our purpose and our meanings
So
alive.
true.
And then right now we're here and we're
Thank
back
goodness
again
for
to that
this.
path. Yes,
It's like we are forced to have this afternoon, to have this
Exactly.
discussion.
Yes.
And I'm sure that there's so much that you can share to everyone, especially when it comes to education,
Yes.
and the arts, of course. There are those who've known you as the artist and many who know you as the educator. So when people hear that you are an actor, singer, dancer, I know you've done ballet, we'll talk about that later, and now an educator, they might wonder, where did this journey begin for you?
It started in childhood.
Of course, childhood.
Yes, it started in childhood. I started ballet when I was 3 under Madame Faye Villarica Ballet Center.
Yes.
It used to be in Gorordo. We were like around only 3 to 5 ballet students
Wow.
during that time. And my first performance was a reindeer.
You were a reindeer.
In a Christmas presentation, I was
Yes.
a reindeer in white, and I was the smallest. And it felt good performing on stage whenever you hear, those applauses, and when you feel the moment that your parents were so proud of you. That's why I always encourage the parents to always be there for their kids, because the moments that they invested when their presence is there, that's actually the moment that their child would realize, so this feels good. I have to do better on this.
And from that moment, you became the reindeer on stage.
Yes.
I'm sure there were other presentations, other performances that followed.
That followed.
So, can you also tell us what were those?
I was with
performances?
ballet for 15 years, so that
15
is
years
like
is a long
yeah,
time.
15 years. I was with Toe Shoes already,
Wow.
and then in ballet center we usually have that annual recital, or like we do it twice. So if you would like compute it, like 15 to 30 performances on stage.
Yes.
Aside from that, I'm a product of Saint Benedict's under Lydia Ibanez. And I would say that I was also one of her favorite because Madame Lydia Ibanez was also an artist. She plays the
Yes.
piano very well. And when she felt that I was also an artist, she would always call me to be her dance representative whenever there are like
Oh,
guests
okay.
in school. And sometimes she would ask me to sing.
Yes, because Madame Lydia, I've met Madame Lydia Ibanez if I'm not mistaken, she would be serving as the pianist at
In
the
Redemptorist
Redemptorist
Church.
Church.
Yes.
Yes.
Oo.
So that, of course, many would know her as the educator,
But she
but
was also an artist.
a very good
Yes, a
artist.
very good artist.
And many only probably met her or were graced by her talent through the mass.
Through the mass.
Yes.
And whenever she had visitors in St. Benedict's, so from the time that she knew that I was into ballet, I was into singing, and I also won several declamation contests.
Yeah, so now you've mentioned three na ha. So we're talking about ballet, so that's dancing. And then you've mentioned singing. And then
yes.
declamation.
Declamation.
So yes, you're now, okay, that's already showing that you are a very good candidate for musical theater. Yes.
So I was also with declamation,
Yes.
and I've won several declamation contests, but not
I can imagine.
not with Miss Ibanez, but I was also a product of Dr. Espina.
Yes,
Her
Dr.
summer
Milagros
classes, yes, Dr.
Espina.
Milagros Espina. So I had these summer enrichment classes,
Yes.
wherein I remembered I was 8, and then there were like 5 declamation pieces like presented in front of us. And you know what I asked? I said, "What's the most difficult?" I was 8.
Wow. So you wanted the challenge already
Yes,
at 8 years old.
I was 8, and then I think that the teacher or the mentor during that time, her assistant said, "Oh, this is the most difficult event," and I would say,
Wow.
and I told her I want that.
Yeah.
So from a very young child, I already had this innate,
yes,
you
it
know,
is.
innate character trait that whatever is the most difficult, I'll go for it.
You want the challenge. It cannot be just easy
Yes.
thing. You have to take on the most difficult thing. But the thing is, the Dr. Milagros Espina, I think that it's also worth paying homage to her
Yes.
for being
USJR,
the
right?
trainer.
Oo.
She was known in USJR, of course, for having created the Dramatics Guild, I believe, but she was also known to those who are outside USJR for all her trainings in public speaking,
Yes,
so
declamation
ganun
or
siya.
rhetorical contests.
Correct.
Yes.
Yes.
And the way you have to speak, there are certain accents that you have to really say it, the words, but the
I believe
pronunciation.
she the first time I don't know if I've heard of her, but I remember picking up a book or a workbook maybe, and it was written by her. And it was full of performance pieces, declamation, oration, and all that. And I believe some of those pieces are still being performed by students
Until
now. Yeah, so that's like, I believe that would be her legacy.
Exactly. Because
And-
I was with her for like 5 summers.
5 summers.
5
my God.
summers. So
Yes.
from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So for
So
5 summers.
and I would say that your parents really believed in training and education, because others would say, "Oh, I've done that, I'll move on to another one, I'll look for something else." But having done that in 5 summers, that means there's really the urge to always improve.
I
to do
believe it
better.
was, the urge was more from my mother.
Yes.
I think these were like her dreams before,
Oh, and now she's
which
like,
became my dreams.
Yeah.
And then if you look if you look at it right now at this standpoint, you would say that everything happened in a calculated way, because I was able to use all those things that I've learned now that I have this school for 25 years.
And we would say, if you would believe, what the Buddhists would say, causes and conditions.
Exactly.
Everything that you have done in your life has actually led you to where
Exactly.
you are now.
Exactly. It's like everything is in order.
So it's easy to say that you've had a very creative childhood.
From Madame Faye Villarica
Yes.
to Dr. Espina, and then Madame Lydia Ibanez, who was also an artist. And I was also into piano. I studied piano when I was 6.
Oh my
from
God. That, number four na ha. That's
Piano.
like four. Yes.
Yes.
So instruments. So piano.
piano,
you
Miss
do.
Miss Mila Nadala from CIC. So I was from
wow.
St. Ben, but twice a
Really
week
good training.
Re-
You
yes.
had really good
from
teachers.
CIC music. So my mom or my dad would pick me up when I started at the age of 6 and would bring me to CIC. I had piano lessons twice a week together with my ballet. So it's
Wow.
like moving.
Mommy, I would
Mommy
like
and
to say,
daddy,
like,
but more
thank
of
you so
mommy.
yeah, thank you so much for the support that
Exactly.
they've given you
Oh.
growing up. So I think I mean I just have to ask this question. So how did your experience in the performing arts and all those summer classes and all that shape the way you see learning?
Discipline and grit,
Wow.
both.
Okay.
Just imagine in ballet, my toes.
yes.
When because
Yeah.
every time you go to the next level, there's an exam.
Yeah. That's
And
something that
then-
maybe not everyone knows about, that there's
Yes.
actually an examination.
There's an exam in ballet. So before you're going to go to the next level, all of you are like prepared for it. And then on the day itself, there's like 3 classical ballet teachers who are going to
Yes.
be there to assess.
Wow. Not one.
Not one. And
Not
then I
two,
got
but 3.
I got so disappointed at a certain point because my toes
Mm-hmm.
were not as arc. Like because it's like part of my body now. My toes are not that arced. So I got to have toe shoes on a later age.
Oh,
So
because
my-
it cannot be forced.
It cannot be
yes.
forced. So when I was able to do my toe shoes, all my toes were like, just imagine, bruised.
Wow.
But eventually, it became calloused. So I was able to deliver.
I don't know if have you seen those posts online, when they like take off the ballet shoes, the toe shoes, and
That's
you
so
can
true.
you can actually see
The
how
bruises.
yes, the bruises and
Yes.
sometimes the scars,
Exactly. Exactly.
That's true.
And that was where I was able to form my discipline and grit. So for us to really achieve our goal, we have to sacrifice and suffer for it.
Now, people would probably say, like, it's easy when you talk about like school and academically, we have the honors roll. So you have like first honor, second honor, third honor. It's all based on grades. But with, let's say, for singing, although you would say, oh, there are levels, right? But I think people don't see the type of discipline that is required in the arts.
Exactly.
And so I think you're an educator. You're a school directress. I would probably like to start off by like you making like really stating the fact that discipline is very important in the discipline in the arts that we learn in the arts.
I think in
is-
every area of our lives. And it's something that is like lacking among our young learners right now, discipline. So regardless if you have a very intellectual mind,
yes.
but you don't have the discipline, you still cannot go anywhere. And during the convention that we had like a month ago, there was this one educator slash leader who
Yes.
also mentioned that one thing that he feels is lacking among the young learners is discipline, of which I strongly agree. And without discipline and without the grit, you cannot actually go to places or achieve the things that you want to achieve.
And I think it's also important to note that, let's say, it would be easy for me to talk about theater. Students have to memorize their lines. They have to memorize blockings. They have to take note of director's notes. All these, a lot of memorization. But part of the requirement of memorization is really being able to sit down, take the time to memorize those lines before you even get into rehearsals, right?
Yes.
And that's the kind of discipline, well, partly the kind of discipline that is required for you to be able to
deliver.
be part
To be
of
part,
a
yes,
play.
exactly.
Yes. Now, there are different school of thoughts, of course, when it comes to intelligences and all that. And I've heard of the 8 intelligences, So
By Howard Gardner.
and what's this?
I'll try to remember. Okay,
Is
the
that-
multiple intelligences
Yes.
are the following. So there is the linguistics.
So
there
language,
is the
words,
math.
no? Number.
There's the spatial,
Yes.
and there's the kinesthetic or the physical,
The body, we would
Yes.
say. Yes.
and there's the interpersonal,
interpersonal.
the ability to
The-
connect to other
yes.
people, and there's the intrapersonal,
Mm-hmm.
oneself, and I forgot the seventh and the eighth. I think the seventh.
Music.
The
Is that
musical
music?
intelligence. It's 7.
We cannot forget the music. Yes. That's,
And then
so
number
eight.
8 is, I think, the emotional. But I'm not
So-
sure if emotional is like
so-
part of the interperson or intrapersonal. But I think it's the emotional.
So if you think, what's this? So we'll go back to
Yes, yeah.
language, numbers, body, no, and then
Spatial.
spatial, music,
Yes.
inter and intra. So
I wait.
diba?
There's another one. The science for the intelligence for science. I forgot the
Yes,
term for that. I
yes,
forgot the
yes.
term. Yeah, but that's the one of the eight intelligences. But Howard Gardner also added, I think, the 9th one.
Oh, that
It
I
is
haven't
more of the
heard-
spiritual intelligence.
The spiritual.
Yes. But then I have to dig deeper into that because it's the 9th intelligence.
Okay. I would probably think that that would also fall under or could be connected, very well connected to intra.
Intra,
right?
yes.
But now even a lot deeper, or I don't know. It can be also you're looking within, but going beyond.
Exactly.
You know?
Because there's another intelligence which is like being discussed right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the it's metacognition.
Oh my God.
Or metacognition is
Explain.
it's an intelligence wherein you think of your thoughts.
Okay.
So that's like an expansion of the intrapersonal.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm sure there will always be. I don't know if the term is updating, but
Updating,
these will continue to expand. But what I like about it is that it's allowing us to understand that intelligence cannot only be about being good in math or
Exactly.
science or
Or
you know,
inside the classroom, or just
Yes.
like. But though these kinds of intelligences we call the intellectual quotient intelligences, they're also very important because it's
Correct.
also the building
I
block
agree.
of
Yes.
critical thinking. However, if it's going to be, I would say, imbalance, where it's going to be focused too much on that, and there's going to be death to creativity, that's the part wherein you're not going to be giving the holistic approach to the child. The holistic approach is when there is the intellectual quotient, the subjects that is required,
Correct.
and there's also discipline and grit. And we also combine it with the intelligences of Gardner, which is like more of experiences for expansion, because we encourage our children to experience to expand. No experiences would mean no expansion.
And that's why I would say that, the experiences at school should go beyond the classroom.
Beyond the classroom, beyond the four corners of the classroom.
And there are those, I believe, there are schools that really promote, the extracurricular activities or activities that would require you to get out of the classroom and experience life even outside of the campus.
Exactly.
So now we're not there yet. But yeah, I'd like to start going towards your school.
Okay.
And so maybe let's go to when you actually realized that you'd like to open your
a
own
school.
school.
I graduated as an engineer.
Okay.
Okay.
Which ano?
Industrial engineer.
Industrial engineer.
Yes. And then the funny thing was, the school was my feasibility study.
Wow.
Yes. It was my
Okay.
feasibility study. And then years after that, maybe it was like divine intervened that your feasibility study became like reality
And became your calling.
and became my calling. You know, the hand of God is there, the hand of the universe was there. So I opened the school 25 years ago, and we only had 7 students during that time. One student was my daughter Ellie. And
Wait, what did you say? Did you say 25, 35?
25 years ago.
25 years ago.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time
Yes.
ago.
2001.
2001.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
It was like I started with Kumon. I was a
Kumon.
Kumon instructor first. And then there were these Kumon students whose younger siblings could not be accepted under Kumon. So they asked for a daycare. So I opened the
Yeah.
daycare.
So
And
the
from the
daycare
daycare
was
was actually the starting ground for Blessed Trinity. So that was it. And then I started with 7 students under Blessed Trinity. We called it the daycare first.
The
And then it
daycare.
grew, it grew, it grew. And sometimes as it grows, you grow with it.
Yes.
Ideas come. And then because the identity of everyone or the identity of any institution or particularly the school is actually shaped by behavior. Identity is
Yes.
shaped by behavior. So through time, when we opened the daycare and I already established like activities for it, slowly the identity of Blessed Trinity was formed because of the activities and behavior or the behavior that was done through the activities.
Through the activities.
Through the activities.
Yes.
And then I decided I want to have an eclectic school.
Eclectic is
Yes.
the term.
Eclectic
Okay.
is the term. Wherein it's like a percentage of it is a traditional, which is needed for discipline.
I agree. Yes.
And then a
we-
percentage of it is the non-traditional. And it's where the arts come in.
Aha.
And giving them that approach, the left and the right brain approach, would give the holistic approach for the child.
So there's really balance, it's holistic and all
Yes.
that. But what was your vision back then? When you made the transition from being just I'm saying just, but that's not to build to see it as something small, from being just the daycare to now being a school. What was the
There
vision?
were moments wherein I need to be quiet.
Uh-huh.
So then I realized that the power of silence is really powerful. Because there were moments, Sarah, na I would just want to be alone. Not because I felt lonely. I want to be alone because I want to connect to myself and to know that where am I going? What's my purpose? And then, handling a school is not just a business. This is like a journey, a path, a spiritual thing that is given to me. So I have to be very purposeful and intentional with it.
Yes.
So in my moments of silence, it just came. All the things that I experienced in childhood, I blended it into one concoction, and it's the eclectic.
Aha. Yes.
And I remember that all the things that I've learned from St. Benedict's, from the music school in CIC, from Ballet Center, from Miss Mila Nadala, and then one more thing, I also was with Georgie Ilagan, personality development.
Personality development.
Yes.
Ah.
And I also had one great teacher. His name was Ben Casquejo, my piano teacher with Widow. And I was also with the USC Dance Troupe 5 years. We traveled around the world culturally.
Yes.
So I was a folk dance, folk
Dance troupe member.
dance troupe member. So I actually just blended everything.
all of those
Experiences that expanded me.
Yes.
And, blend it into the school and to make this formula for an eclectic approach.
And I think that you would also be attracting, the parents who are looking for the same for their own students. But you said you started with 7. Now, I believe this is something very special because you had your daughter, Ellie, as one of your students.
yes.
One of your first students. How was that having to, to at a very early time of Blessed Trinity that you are a mother
And a teacher.
and a teacher at the same time?
It was very easy for me, the transition. And
Yes.
also my children were able to adjust. Because in the classroom, they would call me teacher.
Really?
Yes. They would never call me mom. So the
okay.
4 of them, from
Yes.
Ellie to Miko
So
to Miggy
they
to
would
Matthew.
call you Teacher Tet.
Teacher Tet.
That's what many
Yes.
people would call you, Teacher Tet.
Exactly. And
So all the kids,
all of them.
called you.
yes. That was a discipline.
Wow.
So I would always tell them, when we are in the school, you call me Teacher Tet, and there's going to be no favoritism.
So there's like a line
Mm.
there. There's like, in a way, role playing. Just them knowing that, okay, today my mom's a teacher.
Exactly.
She's not my mom. Yeah. Wow.
And then when we're at home, I'm the mom.
Yes.
So we could shift, and they could shift. And by the way, the four of them are artists as well.
Yes, they're all performers. Different
Performers.
ones. Ellie is
Theater,
a
ballet,
theater.
piano.
Yes, I've seen some of her videos
Yes.
online.
And
Hi,
she's a writer.
Ellie.
She's a very good writer.
Yes, I miss her. It's been
Very
what, 2
bubbly.
years that
2 years already.
since she's left
for the US.
For the US.
Yes.
So I hope you're listening to this. We miss you here. The next time she comes, it would be nice for her to do. She's also an educator.
Exactly.
So it would be nice for her to do
Yes.
something when she's here, even if it's just for a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And then your second child.
My second child, my second, third, and fourth, the three boys.
Yes.
They belong to the national team of Taekwondo. Before.
Okay.
And they stopped because of so many things. But then the three of the boys, they play musical instruments. So they play both the guitar and the piano.
All of them.
All of them.
Three
The
of
three
them.
of them.
Wow.
And then the third and the fourth were with theater. So the third, Miggy and Matthew were with theater, but Miko was also into the musical instruments. And then the third, Miggy, I'm so proud to say this, but in 2023, we won major awards in Sinulog Film Fest because
Yes.
of him.
And which one was that?
Um,
So it was a film.
it was a film.
that he.
He was
produced
the
and
one. He
directed?
was the one who directed.
Okay.
He was the cinematographer. So, 7 major awards, if I'm not mistaken, we won, and it was our first time to join. And he was
First time.
It was our first time in
Did
2020.
he have any formal training in filmmaking?
I don't know,
Or-
but he was also innately into it, film and
Aha.
photography. But
Sometimes you just have to do it, and
Exactly.
and you see that when you pour your heart and
Yes.
soul into something.
exactly, but he was already
it can
winning
be
with
very
photography.
powerful. Photography.
Prior to film, he was already.
Now I see the
Yes.
connection. Yes. But the thing is, I remember the first time we met was because of Matthew.
Yes, Siddhartha.
Yes. Oh my God. That was like so many years ago.
Yes.
So we needed a boy in Siddhartha the musical that I
Yes.
directed. That was, I don't know which year it was. It was,
2016.
oh my God, 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah, 10 years ago. So obviously Matthew was still a little boy. So we needed a boy to perform the role of little Siddhartha.
Yes.
And he auditioned.
Yes.
And he performed with us for the anniversary.
For the 10th year anniversary ba
I
yun?
believe, yes.
Oo.
So that's when I met you. So I met you, in fact, not because of yourself, but
Yes.
because of your son.
Because I was a mother.
Yes, you were the stage mom,
Yes.
very supportive. And at that time, I didn't know that you were an artist. It was only later on, how it is when we meet. And when we meet someone, and it's only later on that we unravel things about the person. And now you've become a really dear friend. And I'm so
you.
grateful about that. So it's been 10 years, Dad.
Yes, exactly. Sorry. And then I remember it was like calculated. Now
No?
we're going to meet, we're going to cross paths. And Matthew,
Yes.
after doing Siddhartha, has also been doing a lot of theater projects after that, and has won twice powerlifting national.
Oh my God.
So see
Powerlifting.
the connection because as I've shared with you in our coffee talks, Sar, na it's not just academic. You have to open something else, another door, not necessarily academic. Could be another door. Could be piano. It could be theater. It could be sports that would kick off self-esteem first. Yeah, right?
Yes.
So this is one thing that I've been telling the parents and my co-educators. Yeah, important ang academics,
Yes.
but if the academics is one thing that would be pulling the child down, then why do we have to push it? Find a button, find a door, find a window that would bring up the self-esteem. Because each one of us, we're actually created uniquely. And I
That's true.
believe that each one of us, we have a certain particular talent or God-given thing that we are really meant to do in this world, in this lifetime. It's our mission to find it. And then
Uh-huh.
as teachers, as educators, it's our purpose to actually help open the doors. That's why in Blessed Trinity, we have fencing, we have forest immersions,
Wow.
we have all those religious and charitable engagements and unique
It's
activities.
not the
Even
usual activities that you actually
no,
find in traditional schools.
no.
Now, I'd like to get into that, but
Mm.
before we talk about that, I'd like to give a shout out to
Okay.
those who are watching right now. We have Carl Angelo Lorenzo watching from Caloocan, Bagong Silang. Okay, with address yun siya. I will not read na the address, sir. Thank you for
Hello,
listening. And there's a comment from Jiggy Juice, sir na. It's asking if you can raise him. Go back to school, Jigs. Go to Blessed,
Blessed
Trinity.
Trinity. Yes.
And experience how it is to have teacher Tat as
As a
your
teacher.
school director
Yes.
and teacher. Of course, Charlene Verlove saying hello.
Hi, Charlene.
Hello, teacher Tat. You worked with her in Steel Magnolias.
Steel
You were
Magnolias,
co-actors. And I miss that. I miss your performance there. We'll probably talk about that later. I hope we have enough time.
I will have enough time,
Yeah.
Sarah.
2 hours is not enough. Do you know that it's already been over half an hour that
Oh,
we
really?
see?
My goodness.
So-
I even was, what, 2 hours? We're going to be talking like 2 hours? They said,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's that fast, no?
Okay.
So but yeah, you were saying about how you have to open doors as a
Yes.
school.
As a not only as a school, Sarah, it should be as a community. That's why what you're doing, Tutin Cans, you're actually opening doors. Because we need to, give that spark to everyone. Because we never know what path they're taking.
And I guess when you mentioned that, why do we force something to a kid, a child, that would make them feel low, bad, down, when they can be introduced to
To
something
something-
that would lift them up? I guess this is something that not everyone understands. And I would probably be sharing, like with Tutankan's theater lab, we have many students who are also good in academics, but they need to have that, the experience.
Another blend.
Yes, because they're also good in singing, dancing, acting, and they need to be able to express themselves creatively because the school puts them in a very rigid and a different kind of discipline. Now, there are also others who may be struggling, don't feel like they belong, they don't fit in. And then they go to, not necessarily just with Tutenkans, but I'm sure with so many groups, whether it's theater, dance, or voice, or whatever group there are, they go there and they feel like, wow, this is how it is to actually find the thing that you love to do or would love to continue doing for the rest of your life, maybe
Yes.
maybe as a hobby, maybe as a passion, maybe even as a profession. Others are coaching, others are teaching. Now with you have all these talents from singing, dancing, acting, instruments and all. And that's not just to say that, oh, you're good. It's what I'm trying to say is that you have actually taken all these experiences and talents and put them in a house. I call your Blessed Trinity a house where children can actually have a similar experience.
Yes.
The way you've enjoyed and loved the arts.
Yes.
That's what they're having now.
Yes.
And lucky them.
Lucky all of us if we're able to also
Or we
open.
say hashtag blessed. Diba? Yes.
We're blessed to bless. And then, Sarah, we are, if I'm going to take it into a spiritual light, we are souls having human experiences. Our lives in this world is very limited. We don't even know when or how.
So true.
So we have to maximize what we have. And then the intention there is to intentionally live our lives according to the happiness or the whatever is given to us by the universe or by God, and to maximize it and to expand and to also share it. We cannot, if I was like having all these talents and I would just like put it into my house and I'm not going to expand it, I think I won't be as happy as like living my life right now. And I believe that the school gave me a purpose. Na Yvette, or little Eve, this is your garden.
Yeah.
And you have
wow.
to create this garden so that the little kids will also create their gardens later. Something like that.
That's beautiful. And I think it would probably be difficult to imagine like how that environment or the garden is like unless I have a child who's enrolled there, or if unless I were the child that's enrolled there. But maybe you can give us a look into how that garden is like. If I were a student of Blessed Trinity, what would my month or week or day would look like?
Just yesterday, we
Okay.
had 17 Japanese university students who came by.
Why?
Half day. They contacted me and they said that they love to know more about the eclectic approach.
Yes.
So, the head leader, Sir Shenya, communicated with me through email and messenger like 2 months ago. And I thought that there were only like 11 who will be joining and ending 17.
Wow.
So when these Japanese university students came, they were so surprised that yesterday, the grade 3 were the school canteen for the day.
School
Grade
canteen
3.
for the day.
So meaning they're
Okay.
the ones selling food, snacks,
Wow.
lunch, and we train them to handle the money, and then the parents should also be training them. So because every child needs a village. It's not just like the training from the children is coming from the school. It should also be coming from the parents, from the grandparents. So this is one thing that I always emphasize to the parents. If you want our children to, to fully develop in the holistic approach, we should be a community, we should be a tribe, we should be a village. So when the Japanese university students came, they said, oh, grade 3, 8 years
Grade
old,
3,
selling.
yes.
And then one kid was like cooking turon there.
Even cooking. So
Yes.
it's not just bringing like how do you say? It's like
Food.
ready made.
No, they were cooking.
So they were cooking.
Cooking, and
there.
they presented, of course, with the help of the mom, but then the mom was where that assisting, and then the Japanese students were forced, not forced, but they loved also to buy from each stall. So they were so surprised that 8-year-old kids were actually selling, and I explained it to them. This is part of the entrepreneurial
Yes,
spirit.
really.
Yes,
Really good training.
and entrepreneurial spirit, or the ability to sell, it should be part of our system, because we'd never know where life would take us.
That's so true.
Oh.
And many schools would actually ban their students from selling. Like I remember, like I had classmates who had to hide that they were
Selling.
for snacks, because obviously like they'd like to raise money, and it's as if it's an illegal thing, But I'm just thinking, it would have been nice if it was promoted, the entrepreneurship, if we had lessons at school that would actually teach us on how to start businesses, not just, study it when you're already in college. And I believe that these kids are having a head start with that experience.
And part of it is like the disappointment, the
Yes.
success. There was one kid who was like, my income is just like this. And the other kid, my income is like this. And I explained to them, this is part of life. There's disappointment, there's success. It's just like a cycle, and you have to embrace it and become better during your next selling. And you also have to improve your capability to sell and check if your goods or products are sellable. Because there's always like the winners in selling. And there's also like, why is it that my...
The top sales and all.
So that's another intelligence, you know?
Yes.
Exactly. And so when the Japanese university students came, they were so impressed. And then aside from that, we divided them into 4 groups. They did the rotation. So it was
Oh.
first coming from them. They taught the kids every 20 minutes, like 20 minutes, and after that they go to another classroom, they go to another classroom. So they taught the kids Japanese songs, arts.
So
and
it was
then
an exchange in a way because
the exchange. So after the 4 rotations, it was our turn. Timing that the kids still memorize their dance from the Buwan ng Wika.
oh, okay. From last year's
From last year. So the girls were
Buwan ng
able to dance
Wika.
Habunera, Maglalatik,
Yeah.
and Teacher Flor and I, we danced the Bangko, which was also very good because I was a dancer for 5 years.
Yes.
So I was able to teach the kids as
It's
well.
really great cultural exchange.
Exactly.
I would say.
So of course, when the Japanese saw the dancers, the dances, and then I explained to them the meaning behind the dances, so they were also very impressed. And whoa, wow! And then they also played together the batulata. So the kids, the Trinitarian kids, taught the Japanese students, the Japanese university students, the batulata game.
And they had a game.
They had
They
a game.
played it.
They had the game. Yes.
Nice.
And then they were like grouped together and they had fun.
Mm-hmm.
So with that alone, just for half day, there was no academics involved. But during that time, I believe that empathy, which would lead me to empathy. No, first we discussed about discipline, which now leads me to empathy. Empathy was, how would say, it was like a driving force during that time. Why? Because even though both were not able to, communicate properly,
Yes.
but then the ability to actually read emotions and the heart of the other, and the ability to laugh together and say yay because they won, or oh because they lost as a team, that was already the development of empathy. And empathy is very important for our kids, and emotional regulation.
Yes, emotional. So, with empathy also, we would say that for artists, it's also very important.
Yes.
That's how we are able to actually understand the character, being able to be in the shoes of that character, or being able to create that person or be in the life of that person.
Yes.
But would you say, aside from empathy, what are the values that are truly important to you as an educator?
The first, I will not put this in order, ha?
Of
I would
course,
just have
yes.
3 lang. I feel that they are the top 3 pillars of. We have different, we have different ideas on that. But for me as an educator, my first is creativity and innovation. Number 2 is actually discipline.
Discipline.
And then number 3 is empathy and emotional regulation. If the child has those 3, everything else will follow.
Yeah. So, wow, we were with Miss Yvette, Teacher Tet Intig of Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy. And we're trying to discuss how it is to raise creative minds. So Teacher Tet has had Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy for 25 years. She's also a mother. But she is a mother to many children for the last 25 years. One of the kids is actually one of the hosts of TMC 105.1. And that would be Justin Narvios. So
Justin Camille Narvios.
yes, so you and I'm sure there's so many students who have graduated from Blessed Trinity who are following, of course, the creative path as well, or being able to use the training that they got from Blessed Trinity.
Yes.
And you mentioned about the values that are very important to you. So, and discipline is one of them. But now there are also people who would say that, creativity or artistry is actually naturally born. In other words, you are born with or without it. That's it. If you're not good at something, you can't do anything
Yes.
about it. But how does discipline come in?
Creativity is, yes, it's naturally born, but it could also be silently killed.
Silently
Killed. If,
Okay,
as a community or as a school, we're not there to open doors for them.
that's true.
And then creativity is like critical thinking, but with colors. Okay.
Explain the with colors,
Creativity
you
is
know,
like
because when people say, "Oh, critical thinking,"
with colors, because with creativity, it's just like you giving solutions to problems.
yes, and that's very scientific.
It's very scientific. It's just like,
Yeah.
sadly, the educational style in our country pushes the different kind of critical thinking. It's like there's like one. It's like, let's say, it's supposed to be in creativity, critical thinking, and discipline molded together, blended together. When you're given one problem with creativity, discipline, and constructive critical thinking, one problem should be given 5 solutions.
Uh-huh.
And the child should be capable of delivering 5 solutions to that one problem. That's creativity, because you're finding solutions in just not like one solution. But sadly, in our educational society, in our system right now, the solutions are given by the teachers. So even there are like 5 problems, you should just follow one solution
Which is the one that was
taught to them.
taught
Taught,
to them and
taught
pushed
pushed.
by the authority, whether that's the
Yes.
teacher
Yes.
or the leader or the school itself.
Yes.
And then we become limited.
We become limited because creativity was silently destroyed and silently killed.
Now, I'm also thinking, you know, like in math tests, and you have to show your solution.
Solutions, yes.
And it cannot be in any other way but the way the teacher
Teaches.
is expecting you
Yes.
to solve the problem. And you know, we solve problems in different ways. And they taught us a particular way. And then I'm using math as an example because people don't see that, you know, a lot of the problem solving is actually a creative. It's a creative.
It's still art.
Yeah, it is an art. But it's an absolute science as well. But the finding the solution there to be able to come up with the same answer, that's the art.
Exactly.
But we are told that if you don't do it the way the teacher does it, then it's wrong.
It's wrong. And it's sad.
But you got the same answer. And sometimes even quicker. You got that?
That's
But,
why we need teachers also who would be spiritually, mentally, emotionally in that light, Sarah, who understands that giving solutions in a different way is also good.
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, in Singapore, no, I think it's in Australia. Their educational system is here, no, in the Philippines. Okay, what are the 8 planets of the solar system? And we give the 8 planets and check. But in Australia, I think they're more of progressive approach. They don't ask for this 8 planets. They would ask their students to create their own solar system.
Oh.
So create. So even though the child would have a different name for each planet, the ability to create, the ability to have fun, and to be happy with one's creation has a more deeper impact compared to the one who just had like the 8 planets of the solar system
Yes.
on paper. Imagine the difference, the impact. So what we need as a society, as a country, are teachers who are really expansive and different and unique and encouraged and supported.
Do you think that you know this is like the financial aspect of it? We've heard of so many teachers who have left the country because obviously they want to earn more than what the Philippines can offer. Are we losing teachers?
We're
because
losing
of
good
that?
teachers. That's
The pay, the low pay.
That's basically the why I said creativity could be silently killed. We are killing the teachers. They are good teachers who are supposed to stay, but because of economic reasons, they have to leave.
Yes, and we can't blame them.
We cannot blame
If
them.
the offer is so much higher abroad, then you know you would understand that they'd like to take that opportunity. And it's the same with our nurses and even doctors and all
that's a
that.
very sad reality, Sarah. And it's just that the teachers in Blessed, I'm just so grateful of their loyalty and them being my family and friends, in spite of the fact that we had to go through so many things. When I say
Yes.
so many things, so many
I
things.
believe in the 25 years, there would be so many
So many
things.
things.
Yes.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Good,
So many
yes.
things. And then they stayed, and I've had a good. It's like the good teachers are more than the badlungon ones, but the badlungon ones are also part of the disappointments that we have as individuals, as human beings. So I would just say that everything's still cool for me and calm. You have to possess that calm energy, that calm nervous system for you to really proceed. That's the reason why I reached 25 years and moving on, because you have to be calm. And then I'm just grateful for my teachers and my staff.
I mean, you have an eclectic, would I say style?
Approach.
In education. So that's what you call it, eclectic approach in education. So when you choose your teachers, what is the thing that you want to see in them for you to say that they can be part of Blessed Trinity?
I first, of course, there's the resume. And then I let them be part of the team or the community, because energy never lies.
Energy.
Never lies. And then I'm so good with that. I think we women are so good at that. We're highly intuitive when things would, happen for the better or for worse.
But others are quietly killed or silently killed. What is the term? Yes.
Creativity is silently
Yes.
killed.
So intuition as well.
And
can
I
be
don't also
silently
judge a person, the teacher, because sometimes you feel that she's off. But then it would take time, like a month, 2 months, or even a year, and then you feel that this person is good, and
It's a good fit,
and then it's a good fit, and this teacher is aligning with me or is learning to align, and then so what matters to me is the months first, the year. You would know if the person is actually the right fit for the school, and if not, I would allow. So, for example, as long as the character is good, because I also need these teachers symbolically to be there for the students, because somewhere along the way, like for example, I have a teacher, Lynn. She's my
Yes.
right hand.
Teacher Lynn. Hi, Teacher Lynn.
And she's a strict teacher.
Very strict.
Yeah, she's
teacher.
like the mother
We
superior.
Need them.
We need them.
Yes.
She's a mother superior teacher, because my energy in school is like I'm the sister.
You're the mommy.
I'm the sister, I'm the friend, I'm the mommy.
You're the nurturing.
I'm the good cop. I'm the nurturer.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be filled with so much nurturing, it's not good.
So
and
Teacher Lynn is the balance.
it's the balance.
Yes.
She's my yin to my yang.
Okay.
Okay. So she's like, you should wear the complete school uniform or else you cannot enter the classroom.
But someone can just go, Teacher Ted.
Dad, can I go inside? Even a first school uniform.
And you probably say, okay.
And that's the sad
As long
part.
as you're not late or anything.
So there's Teacher Lynn.
Yes.
And then, so Teacher Lynn is a traditional teacher, of which is also very important in the wholeness of things, in the
Yes.
balance of things, in the balance of the ecosystem of Blessed Trinity.
Yeah.
So I need her.
So-
And I love her.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you,
Teacher Lynn.
Yeah, so we need that. So
We need that.
So when students, obviously it's the parents who choose the school. What is the recurring thing, like that they'd say, like why they choose Blessed Trinity or why they stay with you?
It's more of recommended. Or second, they've experienced a not so good experience in the bigger schools. Because the big schools might have a very good quality education,
Yes,
but because of the population, it's too huge. The teachers might become tired, looking at, things that need to be corrected. Unlike in a small school, because in the school, in Blessed Trinity, we don't allow cell phones.
oh wow,
No cell phones. We already,
even with the high school.
yes, no cell phones.
Yes.
And cell phones will be confiscated. And then I've explained that to the parents why. And I said, I need the kids to connect with each other. So during snacks or lunchtime, board games are good. So they're even creating their own board games. And they bring guitar, they
the
sing,
creativity
and they
again.
talk, they play.
Yeah.
So that's the whole essence of why cell phones are not allowed, because I would like to see the Trinitarian students connect and bond and talk and laugh and just be them in their most authentic self. Because if there's a cell phone, there's going to be no connection. And if there's going to be no connection, nothing's going to happen. If there's going to be no connection, no community, nothing.
I think that the taking out the gadgets, putting them on the side,
No bringing talaga.
No
No
bringing.
bringing talaga.
So yeah, that would actually force students to talk to
Yes,
each other
to read.
rather than
To play chess.
I'm on my phone, I'm reading something,
Yes,
or
oh.
I'm chatting with someone, or things like that. It's that experience that you're bringing back
Yes.
to the children.
And to be excited, because whenever I check on them, they're just so excited by being present at the moment because there's no cell phone. So whenever they sell every peso or every 5 peso they earn, it's just like, wow. So it's like they're putting so much joy in their present moment because there's no cell phone.
That's actually, I mean, that was our experience at school, growing up. We didn't have cell phones. And then I believe that although, technology has done a lot of help for so many reasons, but it has also brought a divide
Yes.
amongst people. And it can be us building a wall because we're now focused on our phones or on our
Yes.
laptop rather than on having that activity with our classmate or our
Yes.
friends,
Yeah, technology has brought so many good things, no? But then technology is not for 0 to 15-year-olds.
That's what you believe in.
Yes.
Yes.
Technology should be given to them or should be access to them when their values, their friendships, their connection, discipline, grit, emotional intelligence, whatever I've mentioned, has already been fully developed.
Now you see, it's ironic because I believe there's actually an age limit on who can use Facebook, right, or Instagram. Isn't there an age limit? It's
18, I think 17, 18.
You have to be 18.
Yes.
And yet there are schools who actually who create group chats with their high school students, obviously not yet 18, who would give instructions or
Assignments there.
assignments through Messenger,
Exactly.
or who would ask their students to do this performance task, post on online, and get votes, or likes, which are equivalent to votes for grades or
Yeah.
for to win a competition.
Yes.
So I find that like crazy. You
In fact, in
there's
Australia,
Yes.
in Australia,
They have.
they banned already because you see, the Australian education is something that I really admire. They were able to observe and notice that kids having gadgets at a very young age actually destroys creativity. And without creativity, what's there left is that kids are just like robots and then would not even think and would not even create. Now, our purpose in this world, Magudsar, is just to create. I created Blessed Trinity because from the things that were created from my childhood, you created Two Tin Cans because for you to create also like theater and art, we have to create. And because we're able to create, happiness comes in, joy flows in, calmness flows in, and then we created our own garden for other people who could, enjoy our garden, for them to create another garden. And when I say garden, that's their purpose and mission in life, to create. And with the phones, there's actually no creation there because they're always in the receiving end. No creation at all. They just receive.
And I think that for parents who are with you, they're probably so happy to
I know at
follow.
first.
No?
At first. They didn't
Really?
understand about the phones because
would
they
have
said,
thought
what
that-
if there's going to be an emergency? What's wrong? Like that. But then eventually they understood. And I said, you can still contact the teachers because there are like 7 of us. If you have any concerns, you can even contact Guard Joel or the ATES. So there's no need for you to be like, venting
I
their
would
concerns.
have thought that they would be very welcoming of
No,
the idea.
there was like a phase wherein they were not. But eventually they understood.
No,
Because I
okay.
was actually bringing discipline back. Discipline is the core thing right now. And I always believe that, the value system of every period changes. At this point, we need discipline for our students because of the cell phones, because of the energy given by the cell phone. So, discipline.
Now, I we would consider you as the small school.
Small school.
You only have you limit the number of students per
To
classroom.
10
That's
10
10.
students, yes.
Now, if you go to the big schools, which are the traditional schools, you would probably have what 40
20, 30,
students?
40.
40 students. And yeah, there are those who would say that they like the small schools because there's focus, the teachers can actually, they become more like mentors rather than just instructors.
Instructors, yes.
While others would say, oh, we want to go to the big school because we'd like our children to experience how it is in the real world.
Yes.
What do you say about that?
For me,
A small school not preparing you for the real world? Yeah.
that's actually something that I've been asking the parents whenever they would tell me the big school prepares them. But one thing that they missed out is the values. More of the value formation comes from a smaller unit. So for example, a child will be in a bigger school. I think there are also value formation there, but Sarah, most of the bullying, we all know that the bullying right now is the number one problem coming from big schools. You've seen videos
So true.
from both public and private
Oh my
schools.
God, I've just
It's
seen-
terrible.
Yeah.
And then I'm not even questioning the ability of those big schools to to have the value formation, but it's just so big.
Yes.
If you are one teacher and then you are confronted with 40 students, no matter how good the teacher is, but there's also a limit for the teacher to become a teacher, to become a teacher disciplinarian. So it's better if you are one teacher confronted with 10 students or 10 kids, and whenever one of the students will be, giving out that kind of behavior, then automatically you correct. Because as a school, we are paid to correct. We are paid to become partners. Well, paid is not the right term for that. Is it the right term?
Well, it is a fact.
It is a fact, yeah. But then
Yes.
we are partners of the parents to actually be molders of their
Yes,
their
you are
kids.
expected
Yes.
to
So whenever we
instill values.
Exactly. So whenever we find a not so good behavior, we automatically report to the parent. And what should we do with this behavior? Because some of the behaviors are not seen at home. And then some of the behaviors are
That's
seen
so
in
true.
school.
Yeah.
And that there are sometimes also that some of the behaviors are not seen in school but are seen at home. So that's the reason why the school and the home should be partners in the full development of their child. Now, with big schools, I think teachers are just so tired with all the documents.
I'm sure it can be very tiring. And I'm
Yes.
sure that there are those who would like to really show their care for each child. But
Exactly.
it can be impossible. How can you take care of, like, let's say 40 students and you're looking at, let's say, 5 classes?
Exactly.
So
Is it
that's
like 200.
40 Yeah, so that's already 200.
200.
I would expect them to at least know each, in terms of name and face to remember that. But it would probably be so hard to really learn, like, more than just what the classroom setting is giving you in terms of understanding the child or the student, knowing more about his learning abilities and his difficulties
Exactly.
or challenges. Now, I'm sure that in every, inside the heart of every
Teacher
teacher,
is a desire.
yes,
The devotion to become a very good teacher. But then again, the numbers are just too impossible. In fact, the rise of bullying is there. The rise of mental health is there. And whenever the teacher would notice that there's something to be corrected and would correct the child, there are some parents that would, file legal suits against the teacher because the teacher did something that for them was like, should not be like crossed. So the teachers right now, whenever they see a bad behavior from the student, we just have to let it go.
Because they're worried
Because
that
they might
it
be
would
like,
escalate.
yeah, it would escalate and it might be a hit against them legally, or something like, for example, like grades in
Yes.
the big schools, and then there's this funny, this phrase. I would call it a phrase that no child should be left behind. So the teacher, whenever they would see that the child is not capable of, passing, but with the fear of being legally sued, or second, mental health of the child, they would just allow the child to pass, even though the child deserves a grade of 69 or an average of 69. So, so affected yun tanan. And then whenever they see a bad behavior, ilalang i-allow because mental health, parents suing. So that's the reason why bullying is on the rise, because the teachers are not given the authority to correct. Though there's also a fine line for that, ha. Kanang mga teachers pud nga mo, mo go pud beyond the line. But we, as a society, we should have to have that, the training to how far we can go. In fact, I had a talk with the teachers in Blessed Trinity, and then we are actually discussing on heightening discipline, and one of which was already the cell phones, no bringing of
Yes.
cell phones for the past 2 years. We might be, not we might, we will be talking to the parents on not punishment, but community services. So whenever the child is caught doing this or this,
There's a
there is a
consequence.
consequence. It's not just being talked about only, but we have to do community services for that, so that the child will be accountable. Accountable for the things that he did that wasn't good. Oo, kana.
So I think that's a way of teaching whatever you
Accountability.
accountability, and whatever you do, there's always a consequence. So we are here on Up Next with Yvette, Teacher Tet and Tig, and we are trying to dissect how it is to raise creative minds.
Yes.
So creativity. People would say, "What is creativity anyway?" Just the word "create," no, to create something new, something that has never been created, built, or whatever. It is actually a daily activity that we do as human beings
Yes.
to create.
And in school, we celebrate it. Like every
Yes.
year, we have the AIR exhibit. And the AIR exhibit is arts, inventions, and robotics.
Nice.
And then every year we do that. And we have 3 winners for that. So all the children from grade 3 to grade 10 are encouraged to create their own inventions.
Nice.
So
Yes.
they create inventions.
Inventing. That's
Yes.
creating. Yes.
And then they are made to think about their creation from the very start of the school year, and we do it every February, where they're going to present it. So aside from the arts, they do one invention, and then they have to present it to a team of judges, something like that.
Nice. So and I think that so many schools are doing something similar, but maybe one of the things that are probably different is how we celebrate the arts. There are certain schools who would probably celebrate let's just say winnings or successes in science and quiz bowls,
Yes.
but not much when it comes to, let's say, singing, dancing, acting. Now, you've mentioned the phrase earlier, silently killing, silently killing creativity or imagination. Now, as parents, maybe, and you are a mother yourself of 4 beautiful kids
Adults now.
who are adults,
Adults,
now,
right?
yes. For parents, what do you think parents can do at home to really nurture the creativity of their children?
There are so many venues for creativity, Sar, and then it's the role of the parents yun to communicate first. So there should be an open line of communication with their kids. most of the kids would really detest because it's going to
Yes.
be taking that time away from the gadgets.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the kids right now are very dependent on gadgets. But we can always start with something that they're very interested on or interested
Mm-hmm.
in. So there's like gadget
Gadget
art, right?
Yes.
Like for example, there's like digital arts already.
Mm-hmm.
So we can start from there and then slowly move to other things. But I you see, I remember the Finland and Sweden approach, of which I
Mm-hmm.
studied years ago. So their hours in school is very short. And then in the
Yes.
afternoon, they do one musical instrument and one sport.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kind of formula has actually been producing beautiful individuals, holistic in everything. Because the academic in the morning is the information. And then in the afternoon, the sports is actually
Wow,
resiliency
yes.
and physical, the
Mm-hmm.
physical body. And then the musical intelligence is meant for creativity and just for releasing.
Mm-hmm.
And with through music, my good Sarah, it also is a form of meditation.
Yes.
Silence. There might be music, but it's just like you're in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the parents who actually just allow their kids to be like homeschool, gadgets, they're actually not providing the holistic approach. So I would suggest the parents to actually communicate with their student, with their kids, and to explain to their kids that it's very important to have one musical instrument,
Mm-hmm.
to just move,
Yes.
to move and to be out of the house once in a while. I think, and then second, one way for them to also improve creativity is aside from communicating, Sarah, to bond with with their
The
kids.
bonding.
Bonding yan. Oh, bonding siya. And then through the bonding, mugawa si communication, and then the parents would know what are the interests of their children. You cannot just if most of the times with the children would like put a wall, hey, they're very good at that.
They create their own world.
Yeah, to their own.
Yes.
And it's a role of the parents to actually,
Open
dismantle,
the door.
open the door, dismantle the
Yes.
wall, and then, hey, let's communicate. Let's bond, and then,
Yeah.
it's there's still time for that. Yeah.
Yeah. And with bonding, I think one of the, I would say it would also be nice for you to actually know your kids' interests and bond by talking about it or going to events or
Yes.
doing activities
Yes.
that align with their interests.
Exactly.
You know, and you become like part of that world that they have. Even if you don't understand it, you just go and support.
Yeah.
And both of us have very supportive parents, and that's why we're able to pursue what we love.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And having had all the trainings when it comes to the arts, and I'm hoping that more parents will do that, you know, to really just support and be there.
Yes.
When your child says, if you you know, for as long as you can, it's like just support and just be there.
Actually, the first scenario is like, di ba I mentioned to you kanina, the communication and the bonding for,
Yes.
for kids who don't have any interests. There's actually a second scenario. The second scenario there is like kids already having the interests, but the parents
Yes.
who are not supporting.
Correct.
That's the second scenario. So
Uh-huh.
for the second scenario, this is like an open message to all the parents that to unconditionally love your children, you have to support them. And it doesn't mean that if you're an engineer or a doctor, then you should also push your child to be an engineer or a doctor, because some of them can be musicians or some of them can be like artists, no? So they have to also see in that light and to be open. We have different interests. And there's the third scenario.
Let me know the third scenario. Tell us.
The third scenario is sometimes, okay, for the first scenario is kids who don't have the interest, the parents are pushing. The second scenario is like kids are having the interest, but then the parents are not that open. The third scenario is kids having the interest and parents are actually pushing.
Yes.
There's a study that there is like more amount of results from the second scenario.
From the second.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
From kids coming of this age. So the third scenario was applicable to a generation before.
Really?
Yes. So if the child is very into it and the parents are really into it, like Tiger Woods, bang, there's a result, right? Push, 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 good. But then there's like a change right now that the child or the kid should fight for it and then would earn from it, and then there's going to be like she's going to be fueled more without the parents support.
Pushing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing, Sarah. That's a funny
How
thing.
do we balance that? Huh?
I think it's still the balancing that what coming from the parents or coming from
Both. It's like,
well, then there's the support of the community, because if the parents want support, there's always the grandparents, there's the auntie, there's the school, there's the teachers,
Yes.
or there are the other mentors. That's why the child needs to have a village, because the village doesn't necessarily mean they're the parents.
that I agree. It's also important, I think, for kids nowadays to really have their tribe, no? To be able to look at other people, see them as friends, or see them as, how do you call it? Like someone that you share hobbies with, you can talk to about your interests and all that. And then, of course, you have the family who will be there, even if it just means taking you to dance school, ballet
Exactly.
school,
Yes,
theater
yes.
school. And of course, you have the parents who will have to pay for it. I mean, I guess that's also where it becomes difficult for others, because
Yes.
if you don't have the means
Yes.
to pay for those, and we, unfortunately, I also don't know if there are programs like government programs here that offer like free training for ballet or for music or theater and all that. I'm sure that there are schools that actually offer scholarships
Yes.
if you are a member of, let's say, the dance troupe or
Yes, we were scholars under the USC dance troupe,
for USC.
but we have to maintain a grade.
That I understand.
Yes.
Because it's like you also have to prove that you can actually,
Yes.
balance academics and dancing. But then that's already in college.
Yes.
And, some of the interests start when you're still a very young kid.
Yes.
So, and these interests must be nurtured,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But one of the things, like for us at Tutin Cans, is that we have so many adults who would say, I am enrolling now because I'm the one who makes the decision. I can pay for it, and no one's going to stop me from
Yeah, unlike
enrolling.
before, yes.
Well, as a kid, you have to ask permission. You have to get your parents to enroll you,
Yes.
and there are those who would really say no because they don't
Have the
believe in
means.
it.
They don't have the means and they don't believe in it.
Those who have the means but don't believe in it, I think that's even, more painful in a
Yes.
way for
And they
the
would
child.
they would call theater as theater.
Na theater mo ka. Ha, kanta-kanta. O kana, kanta-kanta.
Kanta-kanta, sayaw-sayaw ka.
Sayaw-sayaw nga ha, magunsa man ka.
Exactly.
Pagdako nimo.
Yeah, mo bitaw nga, I tell my students, you know what? It wasn't like the only thing that brought me to the US, to South Korea, to Europe, or to different parts of the world was actually my dancing.
Yeah.
USC dance troupe. So it was talent that brought me to places. And because talent brought me to places, it gave me so much self-esteem. So dili na siya sayo-sayo, kanta-kanta, theater. It could open a lot more doors, no opportunities for
So
you
there's
to be
that
seen.
part of the opportunities of,
Yes.
being able to perform in many stages and many countries. And then there's also that discipline that you actually learn from doing those things. Look, you were a member of the dance troupe, but you have to make sure that you maintain
grades.
grades, diba? The discipline there. It's like you have to make sure that you're doing your work, that that your grades are high, that there's no reason for you to be kicked
And
out.
never to be late.
And
Katong
never to be
We
late.
have to be there. Our practices sa dance troupe was 3 times a week. Tuesday, Thursday, it was like 4:30. We have to be there at 4:15. And then every Saturday, it's just like 8 a.m. We have to be there.
So I am sure you have to. So there's the thing of making sure that your academics are, you're doing well in academics. But there's then also the making sure that you you are doing well in the dance troupe, from dancing to your attendance, you're not late, you're not absent, and all that. It's
Exactly.
like that's actually juggling
Oh,
already, time management,
yes.
and
And it's not only kanta-kanta because I was also I was also one of the choral students of Monsignor Villanueva, the late
yes,
Monsignor Villanueva. I was with him because we were part of this club. It's called Higala Club.
higala.
Higala Club. And then we won in our choral competition in Manila. I was 14.
Wow,
So,
so still in high school.
Still in high school. And
At
then
St. Teresa's
St.
College.
Teresa's College. But then we didn't bring the STC name during that time. We brought the name Higala Club.
Oh,
So I
okay.
was like with, I think, 10 or 12 students of my age. And we were trained by Monsignor Villanueva. And you know the beautiful part? It was just not kanta-kanta. Because there are like three different, there's the soprano, one soprano two, and there's the alto. So the moment that you're going to sing, you have to be very sharp and listening also
You're
to
listening,
yeah. So the
yes.
listening skills were improved and it heightened. And then who would have known that if without that training, my listening skills would it be as powerful or as beautiful as now that I was with him before, di ba? Kay na-improve man akong listening skills. 3 years ba ako ni Monsignor Villanueva?
And these performances that from your ballet to the dance troupe to Monsignor's Higala Club, those performances are you're not doing it alone. It's an ensemble
team,
performance.
yes.
So you learn also to work with other people, diba? And I think with the choir also, diba, what's very important is that the sound, it's like you have to really sound as one.
As one.
One meaning united and all that, So it takes you learn a lot of values. And
It's not just kanta-kanta.
that's it. That's not it. Is that the way to lure someone maybe who's interested? You just say, "Oh, we're going to sing. Magkanta-kanta ta." And then you get there and you realize that
Dili naman ni kanta-kanta.
unsa naman ni?
Kay grabe man itong disiplina during that time. I
Yes.
was 14, but Monsignor Villanueva was very strict. And then aside from singing, we have to dance.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we had to dance during the whole performance of it, and then when we went to Manila, we had to be fostered care. So we
Yeah.
were like 10 or 12, but by threes we were given to different families, so that these families under that same religious group could take care of us while we were in Manila.
Oh, wow.
For a week. So, another po na siya nga experience. So, I had to be immersed with another family.
How did you feel back then when you experienced that, representing Cebu under
Yes.
Higala Club? But being able to travel at that age to another city, Manila, and having that in a way that's some sort of recognition already to be able to represent, right?
We were
Cebu.
supposed to represent the entire Philippines for Spain.
But that you didn't go to Spain.
There were no funds.
Oh, see, that's where
There were no funds. We were supposed to be the girl group, the girl chorale, to represent the Philippines for Spain. And there was so much talking. That was like for 3 years,
Yeah.
and we were like, we were singing everywhere, but there was not so much funds.
And obviously, if you wanted to make that happen, you have to raise funds, and that would
Yes.
mean you spending on your own, getting sponsors, or hopefully getting the government to support you. Yeah,
Sadly.
it happens all the time.
Happens all the
Until
time.
now, there's so many groups that would be winning in competitions that would allow them to represent the country to an international competition. But because of the lack of funding, he will just have to let go of the opportunity.
Exactly. And that's why nga, it's very sad, no? Now, there should be like somebody up there in the senatorial seat to really push the funding of the arts.
Now, that would be like a really long discussion, funding and all that, because then the next would be like, who gets funded? It's like
Another discussion.
yeah, another discussion. But I guess funding is also a good way of showing support, right? When we have funding, it would mean that the government actually supports the arts. If there's funds for the arts,
Yes. Hopefully.
and yeah, yeah, government.
Fund the arts.
Fund the arts. We're laughing right now, but it's
Yeah.
actually a very important thing, you know. And we would like to have it. It's really the kids who would benefit, the children. So you're funding not just the arts. You're actually funding a future of a community that will continue to create the identity of Cebu and the Cebuano theater arts culture. You know, this is our identity that we are actually investing in.
Exactly. And there should also be an arm of artists who would document it. Because I have an experience in our hometown, in Medellin. I have a very good friend. Her name is Miss Lani. She's actually the one getting all the history behind Medellin, from food to art. So I grew up with this kind of food. It's called kabayo kabayo.
I haven't heard of that.
It's called kabayo kabayo. It's from Tindog, Medellin, and I grew up with it. It's like made of coconut, and it's like a bread. It's so yummy if you
But it's
pair
not
it with.
like cocoa bread.
It's not cocoa bread. It's just like it has a different taste. Okay, and then what
now
happened?
I want to try
Okay,
that.
I'll bring you tomorrow.
Everyone who is going to pass by Medellin,
No, there's a
is there a way to
tomorrow. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're in Robinson's Galleria for like the different like products from every municipality. There's Medellin, there's Bugo, there's Tabuelan.
so we
There's
should go.
Kabayo Kabayo is tomorrow.
Caballo, caballo. Of course.
No, let's go there. I'm going
We-
to.
we
I'll
are-
treat you there.
This is we're in the year of the horse, right?
Yes.
So
it's-
caballo, caballo should be
So I grew up with Kabayo Kabayo, and you
Yes.
paired with Milo.
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 Okay.
And then
very specific.
Yeah. Fast forward to now,
Uh-huh.
I was talking with Miss Lani in our hometown, Medellin. And then she said, "That sad. I found the makers of Kabayo Kabayo. There are only
Yes.
two now. So
Only
there
two left.
only two left.
Oh my
And
God.
then old people, only two
Uh-huh.
left." And I said, "Miss Lani, this should be like taught
Yes.
to the Medellin young, the young one, so that
Yes.
the culture is going to be like received and continued." And then she asked, "What's the story behind Kabayo Kabayo?" Ko,
Yeah,
Miss
and
Lani,
why
I was
is it caballo, caballo?
exactly. And I said, "Miss Lan, I was just eating it. I don't even know." In fact, I also asked the two makers, "Why is
I
it
have a theory, but okay,
Okay.
continue.
And then Miss Lani said, "I was asking both, and then it was not even passed down from their lolas. The story behind Kabayo Kabayo.
Oh, okay.
So there's no story what became Kabayo Kabayo. But anyway, we're going there to Galleria tomorrow. I will let you taste Kabayo Kabayo."
Okay. I wonder if it has something to do, you know, you mentioned coconut.
Yes.
Remember what we call when you saan na siya? So you
Open the cook.
yeah, you open the
And then the coconut milk.
and then so you of course you empty it empty the milk and all that, but then you have to, what's the thing, is it a scraper, you know, you sit on it
Yeah, the
and
scraper.
then, that's a scraper.
Oh, then that's Kabayo.
That's caballo, diba? They
Miss
call it
Lani.
the caballo.
Miss Sarah has a theory.
So I wonder if it's because
Of
of
that.
that.
Could be. But going back, that's also, you know, how important the documentation of art should be.
Documenting
Yes.
and archiving, and
Yeah,
it's the same
archiving.
for us also for theater and
Yes.
for all the arts.
Yes.
Yes, I would. And this is the reason why we're doing this. And
Yes.
up next, because I said, you know, there's so many conversations that happen in the cafes and living rooms, in rehearsal spaces, but no one's recording them. You know, and we could have had this conversation like at your place in your school.
Yes.
but no one would be recording them. No one would be able to listen in, and it would remain as a private conversation.
Conversation.
But then there's so much knowledge, so much sharing, and it would be nice to actually be able to go back and just listen
Mm.
and allow others to be able to do that as well. And that's why we're doing this, that
Yes,
I
yes.
feel that like, for example, what you do and all that, I feel that it's important for the Cebuanos and for all our other listeners to actually learn through these conversations. And so this is up next with Yvette, Teacher Tet Intake of Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy. We are trying to share with you how it is to raise creative minds. And you see, when you see a child gain confidence or discover their voice, I think us as educators, we ask, what does that feel like? You know, when you have that moment of whatever activity that you've done. I mean, for us, it would be like with workshops or our classes, and then especially a child who's probably who entered the room or the class as someone who's very shy, but then because of just a particular exercise or activity, they found their voice.
Yes.
How is that like?
Every child is unique.
Yes.
Every child has a certain particular timing and a particular person. So that's the purpose also why I talk to my teachers, the 7 of them, and I would tell them, if one child feels comfortable with teacher 3, then let him be comfortable with teacher 3. So it depends on timing.
So that's what you mean by person. So even with the
The
person
choice.
as in the teacher.
Yes.
No?
Because there are some students who would like to talk it out to a certain archetype. Like, I want to talk to a sister form teacher or a mother kind of form teacher. So it depends on the student of in where he or she would like to communicate. And then it depends on timing, gina siya, Sar. And you have to also respect the timing of the child when he or she would like to voice out whatever he wants to communicate. And also, that's the reason why in the opening of doors, we have to have lots of activities.
Yes.
Because if you repeat basketball always,
Yeah.
what if basketball is only meant for the 10 kids out of your 90 kids? And you keep on repeating that
That's usually
for
the case.
in the entire school year. And so you're only developing and hearing the voices of only 10 kids out of the 90. So that's why na every quarter you have the
Wait,
basketball,
Sports Commission, please.
the fencing, there's
Yes.
teatro,
Uh-huh.
and there is also poetry, and there is what else? Rock climbing and entrepreneurship and travel. So you have to position all these different activities because you'd never know that out of those activities, like out of the 90, 10 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, and then eventually you've already awoken 90 voices because of the so many experiences that you've opened for all these kids. And that's the beautiful part of eclectic. Because if
Yeah.
you're traditional, then you just stick with one sport and then one sport all throughout the year. But if you're eclectic, if you're meant to, if your heart is for the transformation of your 90 students, then you have to also be very, open to so many activities for them, so many experiences, believing that with the experiences would come the expansion and the voices.
And you're saying about timing, no? And
Timing.
and I believe it's also the timeline also. We have certain expectations of like for kids. It's like society has put a lot of pressure on kids having to peak and succeed at certain points in their education, for example. And when you say timing, I also understand with the timeline. It's like others would probably discover what they're good at only later
Later.
in their life. It can even be only after school. But the thing is, the influences that and the experiences, from grade school to high school, junior high, senior high, and then college, those would actually mold the person, the individual, into like becoming the person that he is later on in life. And so the opportunities that you're saying, the different doors that you have to open for them, they may not realize it then by the time when you've opened them for these kids. But later on, that's probably the only time that they would feel, experience, and see the
Yes.
impact.
I have one student. We started our soccer during that's years ago. So it was his first time to play soccer when he was preschool. Soccer, huh?
Preschool.
Preschool. And then he stayed with us for like 2 more years, so until grade 2. And then they have to leave. They have to leave for the States. And you know what? Right now, he's an athlete of Miami soccer team.
Oh, wow.
See?
Yes.
So if we were not able to give him the experience of soccer from preschool to grade 2, that's only for 3 years, I would always try to think, would he be a Miami soccer player now? And he's like, he's funded, he's been, everything is like provided for him. And he's like only the Filipino in that team.
Wow.
Something like that. The role of things happening and the importance of as a mentor to open doors for these kids, because you'll never know when the timeline would be.
And for sure there are for educators, for teachers, and for you, school administrators and all that, there's always the high and low, the feeling of succeeding, the feeling of needing to do better, and then also maybe asking yourself if you should continue, and things like that. But these are stories that would really inspire you to do better and to just keep on. But now my question is more of with the 25 years that you have been doing this, that what is the thing that you consider as the best lesson that you have learned from children?
From children. Best lessons I've learned from children or from...
Yes.
Okay. I believe that the best lesson from children that... Wait, I'm trying to move it with my... It's like for myself, from being an educator, school leader to the children, was to just simply embrace also my darkness at certain points.
Embrace the darkness. Yes.
It's not all light being an education leader. And owner of a school doesn't mean it's to the positivity,
Correct.
the goodness, the joy, the curriculum should be fun, happy. Truth is, as an education leader, I also have my sets of darkness, the doubts, the questioning, the saying of no's, the ending of relationships,
Yes.
the pain, the hurt. And then the beautiful part there is the darkness also taught me that in spite of all these things happening with me in the dark, of which I myself was the only one who experienced that alone, it pushed me also to still to decide that with my darkness, I also have to teach the children that they have to learn also to embrace their darkness at certain points in their lives.
Wow. It's actually, I am so
And darkness
amazed.
is not bad.
I am so amazed that you're talking about this, because I was going to say, sometimes you hear about this toxic positivity, people always saying, oh, you have to be happy all the time, look at the bright side and all that. And no one is talking about the darkness, the moments where you actually struggle and that's it, you feel alone and all that.
Yes.
These are actually very important moments.
Yes.
Sometimes these are the times when you get to know more about yourself.
And then you cultivate more for your garden.
Yes.
Because you need the darkness for you to be able to actually go back to yourself. And I think that's the best lesson for me, because without the children, without the school, I will not be able to confront my darkness. So I might be giving to the school certain, I might be giving to the school doors
Yes.
for them to be developed in the holistic, because it's very positive.
Mm-hmm.
But no one, I mean, I'll just be very open to you that also the school taught me a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
That I have to also embrace my darkness, because through embracing my darkness, I would be able to align myself to my authentic self. Nga, oy, this is me pala.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher that. So with all the childhood experiences that I had that I'm putting into the school, it's not all light. There's so
Yes.
many things that have to die
Mm-hmm.
with it. And with the so many deaths that had to happen, then I had a beautiful darkness as well.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, as a founder and an owner of a school, um, there would have been so many sacrifices
Mm.
that you know you have to make.
Yes. In fact, I also have a talk with co-school owners
Mm-hmm.
who've gone through so much.
Yes.
Because as a school owner, you have to be in a certain position or role
Mm-hmm.
in society. And then I told that school owner, if you're going to always pretend and you're not going to be real,
Mm-hmm.
then what are you teaching your children? So you have to be real. And then she said, I'm scared to be real. And then if you're going to be scared to be real, then you're actually teaching your children to be not themselves,
Mm-hmm.
to always be scared to be real. And to be scared to be real is something that's going to be like something that's going to be against the things that you need to do, because the only way to it is through it. You have to be scared
Yes.
and to be able to max out yourself. So, and these are things that school owners also have to.
Because I think with being a school owner,
You have to be in that pedestal.
and you have your
Golden.
reputation is very important.
Yes,
You
yes.
always have to appear, like
Pristine.
what according to society's
golden.
standards and
Yes.
all. Now you have always talked about authenticity,
Mm.
and now I'm understanding that to you it's really important to be yourself,
Be
and
yourself.
apologetically
No, apologetically, yes.
as a way of teaching your children to be true to themselves.
Mm.
And obviously, this isn't easy. But you've always been an open book
Mm.
pet.
Yes.
I mean, to as an artist, as an educator, and all that. Siguro, what is making you? Sa may akong equivalent, Anya. I'm.
What?
What's giving you a smile these days?
Should
Yes.
What's giving me my smile these days?
Yes.
So many things, Sarah.
Sige,
First,
tell me.
sige na lang. First, my kids, of course,
Of
no?
course, yes.
Sila mo gid na. And second, my dogs. You know, my dogs, they always
Oh, tell
provide.
us more about your dogs.
Well, I have 9.
Wow.
And the 5 of them were my rescues.
Five
the 5
are
of them,
rescues, but the
one-
4?
The 4 of them were given. But
Mm-hmm.
the 4 of them were given, but one of them is also another rescue who was like thrown to the garbage.
Wow.
And then I had to
And
adopt.
then given to you.
Yeah, given to me. And but then the 5, one of them was like the mom. I didn't know that the mom was pregnant. And then she was supposed to be euthanized.
Oh, wow.
And then so when I got her for foster care, after 2 months she gave birth, and
So
I
how
decided
many?
so to 5. So there were supposed to be 6, but then one was adopted.
Uh-huh.
So the four males were left with me together with the mom. So I have 5, and I love all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Nala and T. Nala is my Doberman. T is also another rescue. And there's Starkey and Malo. And
Mm-hmm.
then the one who gave me Malo is also the one who's keeping me smiling these days.
Ooh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay, just stop there.
Okay. Thank you for giving Malo and for giving Tet that smile.
Okay.
If you want to know more, send Tet a message.
No.
Yes. Okay. That's it. We're not going to discuss it here
Okay, no.
because you don't want to.
Nope.
So I respect that.
Thank you so much,
Um,
Sarah.
But I think it's also really, I really believe that it's important for kids to see, to witness reality, to actually see that you can still have for example, the struggles, you can still have those or arguments
Yes.
or the moments of
Doubt and darkness.
Yes,
Oh.
but without really giving up. It's like it's part of growing up, having to deal with issues and having to ask questions and search for answers and all that, that we don't always get it.
And sometimes the reality would hit us hard, no? And then reality is also giving us the truth of who we are at that particular time.
And sometimes we don't like who we are.
And we don't like who we are. That's dark. That's the dark part.
Yes.
We don't like who we are. But you know what I do? I detach from it.
Okay.
I detach from it and I would say, okay, this is the best. This is only the best way that I can approach it at this moment. This is my reality. This is my truth right now. And I don't like my truth right now.
Yes.
But a year, 2 years from now, this is not going to be me.
So true. Sometimes even in a day, it's
Yes,
already
it will change.
You're already a different person.
Yes, it
Yeah.
will change. And then I would say, this is me at this point, but 2 days from now, it's going to be a different me. That's why art is very important because during my darkness, Sarah, during my darkness, I kept on playing the piano.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
I released everything in the piano. And at the same time, of course, I did a lot of meditation, but the piano was actually my
was-
my extension of of all those things.
Wow.
Yes.
But that's like during the pandemic, right? So many people turned to the arts
Turn to the arts, yes.
because that was their way of, we were
To
all
heal.
locked down.
Yes.
If we were locked down, whether we had COVID or not. So we weren't free.
We were, yes.
But so we turned to art, whether it's doing online, offline, just staying at home. But the arts saved us, I would say, during that dark moment for many of us.
Yes.
So yeah, it's actually important to just keep saying what the arts can do for people. Because hopefully those who have closed their minds about it will start to listen and maybe try it for themselves, or try it for their children, because maybe they have been stopping their children from creating or nurturing their artistic and creative side because they fear that if they pursued them, that they would go for careers that are not considered as financially successful, for
Yes,
example.
yes.
I would say, like, the language that we use when it comes to the arts, we would say, oh, what would you get out of singing, for example? Magunsa man ka, you'll just be a music teacher. Even that, we're looking down at teachers. It's like we always put a value and success on the titles of lawyers, engineers, doctors, and if you don't have those titles, then you're not important, or you're not successful. That is still the language that some are using.
No, it's not some, but generally
Oh my God.
our
Okay.
period is using.
I am sad.
Because a big population still relies on society's promises, but not on one's soul's growth. It would take an individual who has gone through so much and understands so much to understand that the soul is more important than society. But then it would take a lot of transformations for one to really fully embrace and understand that. And that's why arts is also very important. It should be invested good ang arts,
Yeah.
regardless if it's piano, teatro, or what poetry, or even the publication of one's book, because the arts is actually the balancer to everything. When everything, crumbles down, there's always the arts that you could express to when things are not working well for you. And there's so many stories that I've encountered of people saying, kung wala pa tong photography, naghikog na siguro ko.
There are those who would say
Yes.
those things, no?
Oh.
And I feel like uh, I feel like we just have to continue to nurture our children, and that includes really allowing them to explore and yeah, explore who they are through their interests, and which could later on be their calling even and their purpose. And I think more than anything, what's really important is finding your place in the world, you know?
Yes, finding
Finding-
one's place in this world and be a magnet to so many possibilities with your place, so that you could also expand and touch more lives with your with where you are right now.
True. Now, for those who are interested in theater, we do have a weekend of we have part 2 of our all access pass, because many have been asking for part 2. So 2 weekends from now, the 21st and the 22nd, March 21 and 22, we have an all access pass which allows you to attend 6 different workshops in
Ooh.
one weekend. So that's
This is for adults also.
Yes, so you have to be at least 12 years old to be able to attend this. So we have improv, musical theater, one day ensemble, and then we have dance.
Where is
of
it going to
course.
be here in?
So this is going to be at the Kabilin Center.
Ah,
So the
Rafi.
Kabilin Center. So if you're wondering, asa man yung the Kabilin Center, if you know where Casa
Gordo.
Gordo is, it's right beside the Kabilin. The Kabilin Center is right beside Casa Gordo. So I hope that you can join us. That's going to be 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 o'clock in the evening.
That's like 6 hours.
March 21 to 22. Yes, and join us. Hopefully, we can have more adults also. Going back to your first love. Yeah, come and join us. So we are still with Miss Yvette, Teacher Tet, in TIG of Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy. We're actually almost at our end, that no, this discussion on.
Padayon magyapon ta sir after ani
I
magtabi paghapon ta.
know. Discussion. We're talking about raising creative minds. Now, having a school would mean you actually easily. It would be you leaving a legacy, right? So I think when your students grow up, and many of them have grown up already, and look back on their time in your school, what do you want or hope that they would remember the most?
I was whole, or I am whole, because of Blessed.
Wow. That's wow. And so, yeah, Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy. You are located
In Mabolo,
Mabolo.
behind Castle Peak Hotel.
Okay.
But we have a limited population, Sar. We'll be only accepting 80.
Only 80.
Only 80.
But you
80,
also
maximum
have,
of 90.
but you have 2 branches.
Yes,
diba?
we have one in Medellin. The population right now is like around 30. But I told the teachers there that we'll be only accepting a max of 40. Why? Because of the eclectic approach. We're so
So
into
you really want to keep that in
community,
Yeah.
connection, and wholeness.
yes.
And we could only have that if the population is small.
Yeah, I understand. Now, before we end our conversation, Ted, we always ask this same question here on Up Next, no? Because every story is always unfolding and every journey is always continuing. So for every person, it's always moving towards something new. So I would like to ask you,
What, Sarah?
what is up next for you and for Blessed Trinity?
Up next is a place where authenticity thrives, because it's a safe space where voices, real voices from the soul, are heard.
Wow. Thank you, Ted. Thank you so much. That was Yvette Indig,
Thank you, Sarah.
Teacher Ted. Thank you so much, Teacher Ted of Blessed Trinity Achievers Academy. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on how it is to raise creative minds. Now, when we talk about education, we often talk about subjects,
Yeah.
mathematics, science, language, history. But behind every lesson plan is something much deeper. Education is ultimately about people. It is about the quiet, everyday interactions that shape how children see themselves and the world around them. A teacher who listens carefully, a classroom that encourages questions, a moment when a child realizes they are capable of something they once thought was impossible. These moments may seem small, but for a child, they can become turning points. Confidence is rarely built in dramatic moments. It is built slowly through encouragement, through patience, through environments where children feel safe enough to try, to fail, and to try again. And this is where educators play such a powerful role. They do more than teach information. They help shape how children understand learning itself, whether learning feels like pressure or possibility, whether mistakes feel like failure or part of discovery, whether a child feels small in the classroom or empowered to grow. When creativity is encouraged in education, something remarkable happens. Children begin to see learning not as a task, but as an exploration. They begin to ask better questions. They become more curious about the world, and perhaps most importantly, they begin to believe that their ideas matter, that belief can stay with them long after they leave the classroom. Years later, when they face challenges in their lives, the confidence they built as children may guide them forward. The courage to speak, the willingness to try something new, the imagination to see possibilities where others see limits. These qualities are not simply academic skills. They are life skills, and the educators who nurture them are quietly shaping the future, one classroom at a time. Because the children sitting in those classrooms today will one day become the leaders, artists, thinkers, and builders of tomorrow. And the creativity we protect in them today may one day help them build a better world. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Up Next, Racing Creative Minds with Teacher Ted, Yvette Intig. Here on Up Next, we take time to reflect on the journeys that shape us and the people who inspire what comes next. Because the future is not something that suddenly arrives. It is something we build moment by moment, lesson by lesson, conversation by conversation. I'm Sarah Henderson. Until next time, keep learning, keep imagining, and keep asking the question that moves us forward. What is up next?